But we've also seen that the Christmas holiday period is traditionally a time for celebration. Getting together with family and friends is often a regular feature in many festive periods. And for many, these traditions can bring joy. But for others, they can trigger feelings of sadness and loneliness or even isolation. Some people may experience feelings of loneliness due to physical isolation that they are experiencing. Other people can experience feelings of loneliness in a crowded room. Why do some people feel increased levels of loneliness at Christmas? So to discuss this matter further, we're going to be joined virtually by past president of Pan-African Psychology Union, Professor Saths Cooper. Prof Cooper, thank you for joining us on the SABC at this hour. Very Merry Christmas to you and your family as well.
To you, everyone in the studio and out there in South Africa and the rest of the world.
Thanks, Prof. So obviously now we're looking at both the highs and the lows that come with this time. It's widely considered a time of celebration, but the question about why some people feel an increased level of loneliness around this time, talk to us about what is observed.
Well, there's two things. One, you actually have people who are lonely physically. The other kind of loneliness can happen because of an underlying depression, where people have had a persistent feeling of sadness, isolation from others, and even when they're with others, there may be reasons for them not feeling part of what's going on. And that could be trauma, which is unresolved. And we know that South Africans generally suffer from a high degree of depression, which has a reality base. And that reality base is the socioeconomic conditions are outrageous. We have the highest degree of unemployment in the world and the lowest degree of employment. So anybody, even the best of us, will feel depressed about that. The other is that we're a nation that has not dealt with our past, with our personal traumas, lingering from the past. And even if we younger people, it's intergenerational. It gets passed on because there's a feeling of lowness, there's a feeling of weightiness in the home, in the school, and other environments. And we tend to moan, groan, and talk about and focus on the problems rather than looking at the fact that we're alive. We should be making the best of a bad lot and try to do better in the situation. Now, any words like this are not good enough when people are facing stark poverty and alienation from the society. I think we also overlook the fact that the majority of people in the society don't know where their next meal is coming from. The majority of people in this society feel alienated from the socioeconomic and, importantly, the political system. We've noticed that more people tend not to participate in voting, in even registering to vote, because they feel helpless and hopeless. So the problem is bigger than them. The problem is systemic. It's about a failed system electorally, and that needs to change. So the hope for this year is that people mobilize themselves and do something about changing the political system, which does not serve them.
Prof Cooper, thank you for those opening remarks and for just speaking to the various elements surrounding what, many will be experiencing this time around, even if they are surrounded by people and loved ones. I'm looking at the need for connection, vulnerability, and even the limbic resonance that comes with physical interactions. But we're also looking at the phenomenon of going online. And I wonder, from your vantage point, if it is helpful when you're feeling lonely or feeling isolated. Can it also be associated with increased negative mood and worsened loneliness because, of the sentiments that also pervade, the social media as well? What do you want to say about that as well?
I'm glad you raised that because we live in an age of technology. And nearly everybody has a smartphone or some kind of device that they have. Indeed, many people have two devices, one for incoming calls and one for outgoing calls. So the social media pushes people, and indeed general media, the marketing hype that comes with Christmas. It's a time of merriness. When you're feeling bleak, you're feeling negative, you're feeling pessimistic, and there's a decreased sense of self-esteem. This can heighten by reliance on social media. The sense of self is very important. If you know who you are, have a full understanding that I'm a fellow human being equal to everybody out there, and I can do something about my lot. I may not be able to find a job because there are no jobs, and it's a lie when politicians tell us there will be jobs, because increasingly there are less jobs. But we can stay in touch with those people that mean something to us.
Yes.
Reduce engagements with those people who bring negativity to your life. But don't withdraw from life. Participate. Be more active. Get out there. Do exercise. Face the fears that you have. Don't avoid them. And in that way, we restore our sense of agency, our sense of efficacy, our sense of being able to do something, because we did it before, just over, 35 years ago, really. Not the politician, not the people who claim they liberated us. We created the conditions from 76 to liberate ourselves. Now, mentally, we need to liberate ourselves to enjoy the fruits of physical freedom. That is missing in our lives. And if there's any message I can give to all of us is play the role that you would like to play. Don't shirk from it, and don't get put down by self-serving people in, not all, many in national leadership who become the agenda. The agenda is us, the people, and it's time for the people moving forward. This 2025, we need to show our agency.
You know, Prof Saths, I know there's so much to unpack as well, and you also alluded to some of the effective ways to reduce stress levels, you know, moving your body, getting outside as well. I just want, and thank you for also giving us that tips, you know, just to navigate this period as well. As we conclude, you know, the stigmas associated, are there any that you'd like to dispel just very quickly as we wrap up this conversation, particularly around this time?
I think that stay away from those things that bring you down, that tend to bring you down. You can change the narrative and do things that you want to do, not getting pushed by others. We can reclaim our full humanity. It is our time. We need to be free. We need to enjoy the fruits of democracy. It is not reserved for the few in the land.
Prof, thank you for your time at this hour. Again, wishing you and your family, your loved ones, a very Merry Christmas. And thank you for also being part of this national conversation. Professor Saths Cooper this morning, past president of Pan-African Psychology Union, speaking about how to cope with loneliness at Christmas. Again, thank you to him for joining us for that pertinent discussion.